The Tommrow War is a new Amazon Prime sci-fi action movie starring Chris Pratt. This is kind of a star vehicle thing for him, and I was surprised how good this movie was. Maybe it's just because I only see Chris Pratt in bad movies outside of Guardians of the Galaxy. All the Jurassic World stuff, bad. What was that movie? It's not Life. Passengers. That kind of stuff. That was the last sci-fi movie he'd been in. He is not an actor that I expect quality from. I know they want to make him a star. I love him in Parks and Rec. He's a funny guy. He's a very talented guy. But he's just not usually put in good stuff. And he's more of a charisma vacuum than a super talented actor. But I was surprised about this movie. What is this movie about? Well, it's a mix between Starship Troopers and Predator. That's the best way to put it. Because we basically have this war going on in the future, and there's some stuff going on with that. I'm not going to talk spoilers with this movie, because number one, I'm recording this the day before it came out. And also, a lot of this movie is not put in trailers. It's very secretive, and there's a lot of different turns and twists. The trailers just give you a really vague idea what this movie is. But this is a really good movie. Basically, we have a war in the future, and people are dealing with humanity is trying to deal with that. It's a very bleak film. But we also have a monster that's very similar to Predator. Where in Predator, what makes Predator so scary is you have this monster kind of alien dude who wants to kill you and hunt you down, and will kill you and hunt you down. But we have these average Joes, these average people in the jungle, who are kind of terrified about it. I mean, yeah, they're kind of military people, but for the most part, they're kind of just people trapped here, and they're scared about what the hell's about to happen to them. And we kind of have something similar to that. This movie is not what I expected. You see, what I expected is a dumb blockbuster movie that's really goofy and has fun, and, there's actually action and stuff. And there is that. There's definitely that here. There's a lot of that stuff in this movie. It's really well done, a lot of that stuff. But this movie's more of an emotional movie than I expected. There's a lot of bleak questioning about what's going on with humanity and the situation we're at. And it leads to a really interesting, different kind of movie from what I expected. And yeah, I think it really worked. The other thing, it was a great movie for that. Our characters are very likable. The monster's scary. It has a great design, great present to it. You know it's going to mess you up. So if you have Amazon Prime, this movie is definitely worth checking out. Though I do have a couple criticisms here. The pacing isn't bad. It's just a little off because this is not usually how we're used to movies like this being paced. You will understand once you have seen the movie. But it works. It's still a pretty good movie. And why the pacing wasn't bad is because it didn't really hurt the movie. Like, I wasn't bored. I wasn't questioning things. It just wasn't as quick as I would have liked it to be. And that bothered me a little. But overall, it was a pretty solid movie. And I think if you have Amazon Prime, you gotta watch this movie. I'm giving it an 8 out of 10 overall.